So I've been white knuckling it this morning. I was scrolling through Facebook last night, and a group that I belong to warned of high winds, extreme high winds, exactly on the route that I'm going. And it said the worst of the winds was going to start in the afternoon. Well, it's about 10 o'clock right now in the morning, and so I got a super early start thinking that, I'd escape the worst of it. But I can already feel the wind, pulling on my vehicle. And I see a lot of trucks traveling, so I figured, if they're out here, then I guess it's okay for me to be out here. But I still have, experienced a couple of gusts that had me really scared. And I'm just feeling so grateful, though, that I happened to see that post, because I would have been going through this area during the worst of it, because I was planning on checking out a little later from my campground last night and taking my time to get down. So thank God I saw the post, but it taught me a lesson that, I didn't think about high winds this time of year. I guess it can happen anywhere, but, you have to check the weather constantly, because things can change in a minute. So, yeah, these are going to be really high winds. They said gusts up to 90 miles an hour. I am now going right through Pasadena, and that's going to be they're going to get it bad later this afternoon and tomorrow morning, Wednesday. And I only have about another hour and a half to go, so I just hope I made the right decision here. I said in an earlier video that I planned this whole 6-week itinerary out, and I have reservations and things that are paid for already, and so I really couldn't afford to hang out at the campground I was at. I have an agenda here, and it would just really have a domino effect and really screw me up. So I thought, I'm just going to get up super early. And it's not good to be in a hurry trying to get ready to go, because I was rushing around trying to get out as early as I could. But I managed, and I'm almost to my destination, and hopefully there won't be any tall trees next to my rig, because it's supposed to get pretty bad tonight with the winds. So I had a couple of scary moments. I had to go over the Tejon Pass, I think, the Grapevine in LA, and that was, scary enough as it is to go, up in elevation, then down, and driving in LA traffic is scary too, but to have the high winds on top of this is really, really scary. Okay, well, I better pay attention and wish me luck. Well, I just pulled off the road, and I'm parked in a residential neighborhood to take a little break. The skies have been really interesting driving here, because they kind of remind me of like a haboob, kind of a sky in the desert. And so it's been interesting to look at the sky, but a little spooky and scary too. So probably one of the scariest drives I have ever done. I have just 15 more minutes to go to get to my campground, and I'm so relieved that I made it. Going over Tejon Pass was scary enough, but like I said, there was wind gusts happening, especially when you got up high, and you could feel it pushing against you. And I was surprised at how fast cars and truckers especially were going. I didn't want to get past 55 miles an hour for the most part, but a lot of these truckers were going 65 and above. You know, Google AI told me that when it's high winds, you want to slow down because you can have, you can react a lot better. If you get pushed by the wind, you can react quicker and easier. So it's better to go slower in high winds. So I just could not believe how fast cars were going, and truckers. So yeah, that was really scary for me. I think it was a combination of the fear of the anticipation, because there were times where it was fine, and then other times you suddenly feel the gust and you could feel it, you know, pushing you around. And I already find driving this rig, you know, that it's scary when a truck goes by because you can feel it buffeting you. And so to have the high winds to boot was really scary. And so I just was kind of white knuckling it. My hands and wrists are so sore from, you know, grasping the wheel so tightly. And I just found it to be quite frightening and scary, but I did it. I think I'm through the worst of it. I don't know. It's supposed to get bad tonight. Hopefully, you know, it won't knock my rig over. And hopefully it'll be safe for me to get back on the road tomorrow. I'm only here at this campground for one night. But yeah, it was scary going through LA a bit because, you know, there's just more traffic and speed demons, and even truckers were, you know, like tailgating, you know, and cars going so fast and weaving in and out. One guy, I swear he was going 100 miles an hour. And when they're going that fast by you, it's a huge whooshing sound that you hear that I just startle, you know. I'm like, you know, because it's loud when these cars go by you and they're going so fast. So I was nervous. Also, LA, for whatever reason, a lot of the highways, it's hard to see where the lanes are sometimes because they've changed the lanes so much that, you know, and the lanes they have are kind of faint sometimes, and so it was a little hard sometimes to tell where the frickin' lane was. So this was a 3-hour drive of white knuckling it. I did not see one single motorhome on the road today. So that either means I'm brave or stupid, however you want to look at it. I'm going to take brave. I guess I'm a risk taker and stubborn, you know. I'm determined to get there. I'm determined to stick to my schedule here. So, yeah, I just took it slow and stayed far in the far right lane and just took it slow. And there was a couple of scary moments, but it turned out okay. I think I'm okay for the rest of my drive. But I'm here super early, so I thought maybe I'd go grocery shopping because I got some time to kill. I was thinking how nice it is when you have your motorhome. It's like your little house. So if I want to take a nap, I could take a nap. If I want to make my lunch, I can make my lunch. If I want to read a book or work, I could, you know, there's all kinds of things I could do. So this is really great to be, have your house with you. I love it. It's great because I did not sleep that well last night. After reading about the high winds and being so nervous, I woke up many times last night, and I think I only got 4 or 5 hours of sleep, so a nap could do me good. So I might try and do that. So yeah, this is already challenging me for sure. Oh my goodness, that was really challenging to just feel everything a lot more in a higher profile vehicle. Man, just really, like I said, with the trucks and the wind, it was really scary. The AI also told me that you really shouldn't drive an RV in winds higher than 30 miles per hour. But the winds supposedly this morning were only going to be 15 to 20 miles an hour, and I was feeling it at that, you know, a big truck going by, feeling it at 15 to 20 miles an hour. I can't imagine higher than that. I don't really want to drive in anything higher than that. And I certainly can't imagine 60 to 90 miles an hour gusts. Scary. So, yeah, these Santa Ana winds, man. I guess this came down from Canada. But, yeah, I'm going to be staying tonight in the town of Beaumont, which has fond memories for me because as a kid, I lived in Southern California. And my birthday's in May, and one of the favorite things to do for my family, my mom and my sister and I, we were the three musketeers, we would drive down to Beaumont from LA and pick cherries for my birthday and go for a date shake. They have these wonderful date shakes in Beaumont. Maybe I'll stop and get one for old time's sake. And they're delicious, and the cherries were delicious. And I just loved it. It was a thing we did for many years. And one of the most positive things that came out of one of those birthday trips is that we met our little Poochie dog, a small poodle, silver poodle. And she was kind of a puppy, I think, when we got her. And she ended up being with us for 20 years. So she was out in the desert by herself, and we thought maybe she was owned by somebody nearby, but there was not any houses, for a long distance. And then when we started to drive off, she started to chase our car. So what could we do? We couldn't do anything but take her in, And so we had ourselves a new little puppy, Poochie, we called her. So, yeah, lots of memories. It's fun for me to be down in Southern California again, just because I love the drier climate down here. It's much better for my arthritis and my asthma too, I think. And so I love this dry heat. And I forget I've forgotten how many beautiful mountains. I'm looking at some mountains over there right now. How many mountains and beautiful mountain ranges there are in Southern California. You always kind of think of it as being this flat area, but there's actually a lot of beautiful mountain ranges around here. Really gorgeous. I wish I could have filmed it for you guys, but I was too busy trying to keep my rig going in a straight direction and stay within my lane, so couldn't do it. But I'm getting a little warm. I gotta take this flannel shirt off. It's getting warm in here. And so yeah, I'm really glad I made it through that. That was a little frightening, but I did it. One of the, I don't know if it's tragic or funniest things I saw today on the highway, off the highway, was there was this long chain, like a chain link, fence along the freeway. And there was all this litter plastered up against the chain link fence because of the wind. And it was all this plastic, plastic bags. So it was like a really long time where you just saw plastic bags pressed up against the chain link fence. It was so sad. I just kept thinking, good thing they're not swirling around and landing on your windshield. Jeez. Well, I just found a little health food store here in Beaumont, and I'm kind of taking up too much of the parking spot, but there's nowhere else I can go. So yeah, you see the wind? It's really already whipping around. I'm a little nervous tonight, what it's going to feel like to be buffeted around. I'm also nervous now about driving tomorrow through Palm Springs, and because I just spoke to my brother, and he was telling me that another RVer said the winds were pretty bad going through Palm Springs, and I'm supposed to be going through tomorrow, and that's going to be during the worst of it. So now I'm not sure if I want to do that, because that was scary today. Gosh, I don't know. Yeah, Beaumont's changed a lot since I was a kid. It's a much bigger city now, of course, but those are some of the mountain ranges I was talking about. Like a lot of beautiful mountains that I've seen today. quite beautiful. We don't have mountains like this close to where I live, so I'm really reveling in seeing them. Okay, well, I'm going to get in and go grocery shopping. Here's my rig taking up a lot of space, but you know, there's just one spot here and it's not very busy, so I think I'm okay. I'm not going to be long. Well, I just pulled into my camping spot for the night. It's basically like a city park or county park, city park maybe, that allows some RV parking with full hookups. I'm here early, but there was no check-in booth, so I'm hoping I'm okay. It's not very busy here at all, so I'm sure it's fine for me to check in early, so I'm glad. So happy to be standing still. I learned this trick on YouTube about how to make your stainless steel cookware not stick. And you know how eggs really stick badly in stainless steel? Well, I just made an omelet and it worked pretty well. It didn't stick too bad. The trick is to get it hot enough to where when you put a little bit of sprinkle of water, it beads up and rolls around the pan. Then at that point you put in your oil and let that heat up, and then add the eggs or whatever you're cooking, and then that's it. That's how you do it. And been doing it the last couple of times and it works pretty well. So I've arrived at my site. Kind of already made a rookie mistake where I was trying to get my internet to work and I couldn't get any power. So I went outside and found that the cord going into the pedestal was not quite all the way in. So I'm really relieved that it was just that, because I was so worried that I was going to have to, you know, break down and go to another site if that one wasn't working. So thank God that started to work. I can't describe the emotions that I'm feeling right now. You know, this is what I left on Saturday. It's Tuesday, so it's my third day. And I'm experiencing a lot of emotions. I mean, this is all new to me. I feel like it's kind of surreal. Everything feels surreal, like I've stepped into somebody else's life and doing all this new stuff and trying all these new things and definitely challenging myself. And it just makes me feel a bit, I don't know what the word would be to describe it. Not out of sorts, but just, you know, kind of like, this is really different for me. You know, I'm used to like my regular life. I've been, you know, living in apartments and stuff for a while now. Well, actually I had a condo a few years ago, but, you know, just house living, apartment living and stuff. And then doing this is just so different. And, it's all new experiences for me. And, you know, I haven't had any new experiences and adventures for such a long time. So it feels a bit surreal for me. But I think it's good, you know, it's good. And of course, with time, it will become normalized and normal for me. But it's interesting how just the little things bring me joy, like just seeing the sun coming in this window and hitting here and stuff just brings me joy. I don't know why, but it just feels like I'm mixing it up, I guess. And so just seeing different things is bringing me joy. Okay, well, I'm going to sit down and have my omelet for lunch. I mean, I guess this is why it feels so surreal to me, especially this place, because this is like a regular city park. And here I am parked in my little house right next to the city park. Never done anything like this in my entire life. So this is very different for me and feels very weird and odd and different. But in a good way too, you know. It's like, wow, this is pretty cool. I have my house with me everywhere I go. I'm not used to this, but it's pretty cool. I have some nice green views here. So just for one night, so it's adequate. I've got full hookups, so that's cool. I decided to take a little detour off of my route and come down to see Palm Springs. Lots of memories here in Palm Springs. I never lived here, but when we lived in Los Angeles area, my sister and my mom and I would come to Palm Springs. We'd go to the health spas and stay there for a few days. Those health resorts that have, you know, the pools and the hot tubs and the low-calorie meals all prepared for you and stuff. And, you know, my mom didn't have a lot of money, but she liked to treat us once in a while to come down here and do that. And so fond memories. I feel like I'm walking down memory lane. I'm kind of tripping out that, you know, it's been like 50 years. Not since I've been here. I've been to Palm Springs maybe, I don't know, back in the early 90s or something, before I left the area. But it's been a while, so I thought it would be fun to come see it again. So it's very cool.
There are police reported ahead.
This is kind of the famous section of Palm Springs with all the fancy stores and stuff. Looks like they haven't quite taken down their Christmas decorations yet. We used to come see Pageant of the Masters, I think it was called. And I think it still goes on, and it was one of our favorite events to come to, my family, where they would take masterpiece paintings and they would recreate them on a stage with real people and backdrops to where you could not tell that it wasn't anything but the real paintings. So it was really cool to see. So I loved that event. Very fun. I don't know if I'll ever get to see Palm Springs again, so I thought it would be fun to come and take a look at again and walk down memory lane. They have a gondola that will take you to the top of the mountains. There's some nice mountain range right here. You can take that gondola and get great views of Palm Springs. They have all kinds of events going on here. It's kind of reminding me just driving down here in Southern California, because I lived here for 25 years in Southern California, and then I moved up to Northern California.
In 600 feet, your destination will be on the right.
Then I moved up to Northern California, and I really fell in love with Northern California, but I forget that Southern California has its own magic. Wow, I love this dry desert heat. It's like perfect temperature right now. Sometimes I do miss the dry desert heat and just Southern California weather in general, because Northern California amazingly is much more damp, which hasn't been great for my arthritis. This is where lots of famous people lived. The only ones that come to mind right now is Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra lived here. But they have these beautiful mountains here. Beautiful palm trees. I always loved the palm trees of the desert. You hear the birds living in them. Don't want to be here in the summertime though. Very, very hot. But perfect in the winter and spring. I just got a whiff of grilling. Lots of restaurants down here on the main drag. We have a two main one-way streets. Outdoor restaurants galore. I think they've used misters, in the hotter days. Sunset dinner specials. Yeah, the sunsets here are awesome. Well, if I had the time, I'd go check out the museum. I love history and museums. Take the history tour. That would be cool. Cornelia White House. Experience early desert living, built in 1893. Ooh, I'd love to see that. Really? Built in 1884. McCallum Adobe. Ooh, I'd love to see that. But look at these beautiful mountains of Palm Springs. Gorgeous. I don't know what she's talking about. There's a shot of the main drag of Palm Springs. And those palm trees sure make it very unique, doesn't it? I miss the palm trees. We have a few in Northern California, but not like these. Yeah, feeling nostalgic, feeling sentimental. Spent, my youth here, basically. So, of course, lots of emotions come up. I didn't move to Northern California until I was about 40. So, lots of fond memories. In an earlier video, I was talking about how we met my childhood dog here, Poochie, little silver poodle. She probably weighed about 20 pounds. She lived to be like 20 years old. She was a puppy when we got her. I will never forget that. You know, it's funny how there's certain things that happen in your life, you never forget them, and that was one of the events in my life that I just will never forget. Is meeting Poochie. One of the happiest days of my life. All right, better get back on the road. Well, that was one of the smallest towns I've driven in. The lanes were pretty narrow, and I had to go by a truck that was sticking out and just barely missed hitting my side mirror. I took it real slow, but it was close. Yeah, after living up in the Northern California, in the San Francisco Bay Area for so many years now, going on 28 years, and only coming down to Southern California maybe once every decade, it's nice to be down here again, and like I said, walk down memory lane, but I'm also reminded of how beautiful it is down here. There's too many people down here for my taste. I can't handle all the people, but it is beautiful landscape and environment. And I love I have to admit, I love the upscaleness of it, and everything looks so nice visually. Some places are pretty littered and depressing to look at, but places like Palm Springs, it's kept up really nicely, so it's nice to see. So heading over to Palm Desert now, gonna stop at Whole Foods, where I mostly shop, and get some groceries, and then get back on the road. It was pretty windy this morning. In fact, it was more windy than yesterday, and I was gripping on the wheel pretty tight, and I'm just hoping that the rest of my journey today isn't as bad, because I was definitely feeling it today. It was really pushing me around, so not fun. Highly stressful for me, actually. I'm an anxious girly anyways, but to have that on top of it, stress. Well, I didn't do the best parking job, but good enough. Over here at Whole Foods. I'm gonna stock up because where I'm going won't have much choices. Oh, it's a really beautiful Whole Foods. Oh my God, look at this produce section and all the colors. Wow. I love Whole Foods. Prices are high, but you get what you pay for. Biggest salad bar I think I've ever seen. cracking up how my motorhome is towering above all the cars. Well, it makes it easier to find it. It looks so tall. Oh, that was funny. First time I've ever been in a shopping center with it. A lot of firsts already on this trip. That's for sure. What happened to this trucker? How he landed over there? It's actually possible that the winds did something. It's a little bit windy here. Such pretty views of the desert. I haven't been to the desert in quite a while, it feels. So it's great to be back. It's amazing how going from Northern California to Southern California, how you notice all the changes in the weather, you know. It's like Northern California is pretty cold and damp and rainy. And then as you go south, it gets drier and drier and hotter. I'm kind of just, you know, further east of Palm Springs, and it's pretty warm today. I'm trying not to put the AC on to save on gas, but I might have to pretty soon. Don't think I could live in a hot climate anymore. Ever since menopause, too hard. I'm a little surprised that it's this hot in January. Yeah, we gotta slow down here. First 45 minutes of my drive this morning were pretty windy and a little, well, kind of medium scary for me, I guess you could say. My palms were sweating, so I guess that tells you something. I could really, you know, I could feel like the wheel, you know, like I was having to like do like this, you know, back and forth to try to keep it in my lane. So the wind isn't as bad now, so I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, I've decided I really don't like driving in high winds. It's just too scary for me. But since I have, you know, this agenda, I'm just forcing myself to stick to my guns. And yeah, it was scary for me, but I'm okay and it's working out so far. So I'm glad I, you know, persevered and decided to get on the road anyways, despite the warnings. But it reminds me that, you know, if I get out on the road full time, these are the kinds of things that could happen that I would have to deal with, you know, just unpredictable weather patterns and high winds and just all kinds of weird stuff. And, you know, that's why it's important to definitely just constantly be checking your weather app to make sure. So I could really feel it with the higher profile. You know, I haven't, other than moving trucks and vans, I haven't really driven a high profile vehicle like this before in my entire life. And so I definitely could notice the difference with the higher winds, how it buffets you around. Last night in my little camping spot at the park, there was a lot of howling winds in the middle of the night. It was pretty strong, but fortunately it did not buffet me around at all. My rig, I guess in this case, it's a good thing that it's so heavy, because it probably can withstand, more winds like that. What was I going to say? But, you hear those howling winds and you feel a little bit of fear because you don't know what could happen. When I'm at home, interestingly enough, one of my favorite videos to watch on YouTube, or I don't really watch it actually, I just have it in the background, while I'm working or doing chores around the house. I like to put on, ambient kind of sounds, which is usually howling winds and rain and thunder and fireplace, but it's one thing to listen to that howling wind sound from the safety of your home as compared to listening to it when you're in a rig that could topple over. Totally different experience. But I did find, so yeah, but I was definitely sweaty palms this morning. I could only go about 50 to 55 miles per hour in the far right lane. To feel safe enough, I needed to have time to react if I felt a gust. So, it is what it is. They say, I was reading on Google AI that it's best to slow down. Oh, I gotta get over. Best to stay away from semi trucks because, they can topple over. So, up here, hopefully it's not a semi toppled over from the wind or something. Oh my God, it is. I think. Wait, is it? Oh, geez. Oh dear, that's exactly what I did not want to see. A toppled over semi. Oh, oh God, I hope the driver's okay. Oh God, at least he fell on the passenger side. Oh geez. Well, that's why, it's like a lot of these semi trucks are going way too fast for my taste. Just barreling by me at 65, 70 miles an hour, and you don't have as much time to react. So people just don't. Okay, I'm feeling the winds. I better get both hands on the wheel again. Oh my God, I just saw another overturned truck. Holy mackerel. I don't think that one's overturned as well. Looks like a trailer. Oh geez, this is not instilling confidence in me. All right, I'm going 50 miles an hour. Oh Jesus! Oh! Yeah, there's toppled trucks over there too, and I feel it on my wheel. Holy mackerel! Oh! I'm scared. There's a motorhome. Yesterday when I was driving, I didn't see one single motorhome, but today I've seen a few. I'm just going 50 miles an hour and I can feel that wind pulling me. It's scary. It doesn't help to see those trucks overturned. I'm scared.